When I decided to make changes in my life, and I took a look at the way that I did everything, right? From the foods that I ate to the amount of exercise to how I structured my day. And part of that restructuring, right? This was like when I was in my about 54. And I decided that I needed to be wiser with my time allocation, right? How I allocated and used my time. And so as part of the transition that I was going through, a more healthier lifestyle, I decided that I needed to actually to start to run, right? So I had adjusted my the food that I was eating. I adjusted the nutritional balance, and I decided that, as I started to feel better about myself, I started to feel more energy, that I wanted to run, right? I've never really liked running, but I decided this was a good overall exercise, and it was going to actually help me maintain the weight level that I wanted, and it gave me a lot of energy and stuff. And so, I started to run, and I started to go through that process of very, very uncomfortable process, right? Of running for people who don't like to run. So I started off walking, and as my, legs got stronger and my heart started to get adapted to, to vigorous exercise, I started to walk faster, and then I started to run a little bit, and I started just to build up this energy, right? It was small steps. It wasn't just like going from zero exercise into running, marathons or whatever. You don't do that. Your body won't allow that. And so I took baby steps, but I was consistent. You see, I learned that there are several things in life that are true no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're engaged in. And one of those principles is discipline and consistency. If you discipline yourself to get up and go for that walk or go for that run, discipline, and you're consistent with it. You don't just, it's raining, I won't do it. I'll look for an excuse. But you're consistent, you get up and you do it no matter what, then you're going to find success, because eventually that will become a habit. What you do becomes a habit, for good or for bad. And so I decided that I would start to run, and then I decided that, I'm going to become more efficient with my time management. So I started to get up very early in the morning. I wanted to get up before anybody else got up. And the reason why I wanted to do that was there's value in early morning. Early mornings are great for studying. Early mornings are great for exercising. Early mornings are great for clear thinking because it's quiet. No one is bothering you. Your phone is not blowing up. Your emails aren't pouring into your, into your email folder. It's very, very quiet, and it's a great time for reflection, for meditation, and if you really want to get a lot of things done. And so I started to get up very, very early in the morning, and I would go out for a run. And, at first I didn't run a long ways, but I felt so good after I got back. The day had just begun, and I had created this momentum in my day. I had started off with something very positive, and it started to just, put wins in that win column. And so as mentally, I started to feel like, I've done something good for my body today. And it just led from one thing to the next thing. I continued to win throughout the day. So I would get up early in the morning and I'd go for a run, or I'd get up early in the morning on the days that I wasn't running, and I would start to write a book. I was writing, I'd always wanted to write a book, and so I started to, continue to add to that work, right? That I'd always procrastinated and I'd always put off because I didn't have enough time, right? Another excuse, right? Well, I had time, but it just wasn't a priority for me. So when I reprioritized it and I said, no, this is something I want to do, then I made the time. And so, not to conflict with anything else on my schedule, I got up early in the morning and I focused on that. And I found that early mornings, the power of the early morning is so huge that you're able to get so much done, that the clarity in your mind, there is value. Say, if you're a college student, don't study the night before. Study the morning of. If you've got a test at 9, get up at 5. Put in those hours to study. That information will be fresh. You will be fresh. Get a good night's sleep. And then you'll be able to go in and do well on that test if you've studied, if you've prepared. You see, you can't put something in an empty vessel that hasn't been filled with information, right? It won't come out of nowhere, but you'll be able to recall it if you've actually studied it and you've actually prepared. And so I found the value of early morning, that I would get up, I'd go out and run. And so we were living in the countryside at the time. We moved back into town, and I continued to get up in the morning and run. And then what I found was I started to get up earlier and earlier. And as time went on, I started to get up at 3:30 in the morning, and I would run 12 miles. And I would do that 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And that gave me my off days. It gave me time to rebuild and to recover from the run. And I basically was doing 3 half marathons a week. And I would be done by 5:30 in the morning. So at 3:30, I'd get up, rain or shine. I mean, my body was on an auto alarm clock. I didn't even need an alarm clock. My body, immediately I'd wake up about 3 o'clock, get up, dress, get myself ready, go out and start my run. And rain or shine. And it didn't matter what the weather was, or what was going on, or even what time I got to bed the night before. I would always use consistency and discipline to just get up. Just get up and get it done. And so I'd come back at 5:30, I would, shower, and then I'd rest for an hour or so, and then I'd start my day. But you see, I started my day having accomplished something that most people don't even accomplish their whole life. Going out for a good long run where my mind was clear, I was able to think about the day's activities, what I needed to accomplish, and I had created this positive momentum that allowed me to move forward in my day and do much more things than I would normally have done, because my mindset had changed. And it was all because of the power of early morning. Remember, success is never an accident.